I never have boxed myself, and I don't think that someone who has a dexterity that can be eclectic and it can fit every genre, I think they should give it a shot. I don't think I'm scared anymore. I've disallowed myself from being scared. The hormones by themselves don't change your voice, which for me was a boon, because I don't want to get rid of this is how I sound and I don't care. In a country where people believe that, oh my gosh, being trans is deplorable or is a crime or a sin, here you are, and I'm singing for everyone and their cousins. I keep saying that, the Brits could have taken away one Ko-HE-Noor, but the main one is right here in your studio, huh, Hrishi? I must say.
All right, it's been a while. The last time Rani Ko-HE-Noor came into studio, it was such a wonderful session. We sat, we talked about her life, career, all the music. But the one thing I thought was, we did an Insta Live. We didn't shoot the whole thing for posterity. So this time we're taping it so that you can catch the video on YouTube and, of course, the audio on Fever 104. I'm really happy to see you, and might I add, you're looking $1 million.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Hrishi K. It's always a pleasure to be in conversation or just be basking in your aura.
That's very kind of you. And the moment Mehak from your comms team reached out, I said, is that even a question? He was a little disappointed because I rejected 2 of his other clients. But I said, Rani is definitely a yes. But anyway, just joking. We're working on the others and we'll see when we can get them. But this is amazing. I'm looking, it gives me an opportunity when you to come in to actually go back to your discography. And when I look at the originals that you built, whether it's Diamond or Bad Boys or Exotic or Love is Love, Nazare Pehchan Ab Tak, there's no obvious box in which you can put all of them. You've yourself spoken about enjoying everything. I mean, I love the fact that you can do a Sufi track and then you can go and do a Stotram. If suddenly somebody discovered Rani Ko-HE-Noor, the music artist today, what would be the common musical DNA through those songs?
I think, you said it very, very aptly and very accurately, is I never have boxed myself, and I don't think that someone who has a dexterity that can be eclectic and it can fit every genre, I think they should give it a shot. And that's what happened with me. And, when I started singing in regional cinema, I'm doing a Marathi film now, for example, and I'm going to sing in Konkani and Marathi, for example. Konkani is my mother tongue, right? So, but because we're from Mumbai, we've met people from everywhere. It's a melting pot. From Blue Frog to Not Just Jazz, by the way, to Hard Rock Cafe, to Corniche, or to some place on Carter Road or in the Royal Opera House. You've somewhere come along people with different kinds of music, and at the very base or at the very nucleus of it, I have realized that my authenticity and my dexterity, I used to fit multiple genres. Wherein some people say that this is not I don't want to try this because I might kind of goof up. And I'm like, and so what? If you do it, you do. And I think that I don't think I'm scared anymore. I've disallowed myself from being scared. I think that's...
I have to interrupt you and ask you, what is it that they feed you in the Konkan coast? Is it the fish? Because honestly, the Mangeshkar sisters, Asha Tai, Lata Tai,
then Anuradha Podwal.
I mean, it's remarkable. And of course, the Divgikars. but really, it's amazing. I remember Shankar Mahadevan once telling me that, I said, how is it that all these reality shows have so many people from Bengal? And he said, it's probably the mustard, because they have a lot of mustard.
I think it's the coconut oil. It's the coconuts. It's the coconut oil. It's the fresh air. It's the sea. It's the salt and the sweet together. It's the combination of everything. It's the amalgamation of all energies, I would just like to say.
How lovely. Okay, now, what is of particular interest to me and anybody who loves your music is because one of your signatures, and really, please, if you're living under a rock, go and YouTube her, and you'll see this extraordinary singing. One of your signatures has always been the freedom with which you move across registers, across genders, across vocal textures. It's quite remarkable. And obviously, one of your first questions to your doctors when you were transitioning And beginning HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy, must have been that.
Yes.
Weren't you worried that, this would hamper that amazing capacity of yours to move from register to register?
This is a dilemma that a lot of trans people have. A lot of transgender people, individuals have. And because I am an artist and I'm a recording artist and I'm a singer, it did cross my mind, but I'd done enough research. The fact that I'm transitioning in my 30s, which is also very rare, nowadays. A lot of people start transitioning much earlier. So I said that I had studied enough, and I have a lot of friends that have undergone, HRT, hormone replacement therapy, as well as all the surgeries, and they kind of completely gone onto the other side, right, and living fantastically. That was one of my questions, and I knew the answer to it, and I was very happy. That's one thing which certain other trans women might find a little dysmorphic, because you can't change your voice very easily. So the hormones by themselves don't change your voice, which for me was a boon, because I don't want to get rid of, this is how I sound and I don't care. And that's to do a lot with Usha Uthup, who was my guru. And she would sing in multiple registers. Yeah. And she would sing a Frank Sinatra and then go to a Mohammad Rafi Sahab song. And then she would suddenly go to Beatles. Then suddenly, she would sing her own song. So I thought that, that...
All in her Kanjivaram saris.
All in her Kanjivaram saris. And, she'll be very happy that I'm wearing one myself. I'm not a Kanjivaram, but a sari. It's never late to say, sorry.
Nice.
So yeah, I think that, that was a question, but I knew the answer to it. And I'm very happy that, in that aspect, nothing changes.
I love the Ardhanarishwara Stotram.
Yes.
Really, if you ask me, it's where music and gender and spirituality meet. And I'd like you to talk about it because, this is a composition that you sang with Suhita Bhankar.
Yes.
How personal it was for you. I mean, was it simply a devotional recording or something more?
I actually took multiple sessions to record this. Wow. I wasn't getting, it's Sanskrit. Then it's also like the words, the enunciation, the details in the accents, like there are up-down accents and then down-up accents in certain places where you had to, and then it's the feminine part of it was so maternal. I had to channel that within myself, and I had to kind of go back to the time when my mom would sing to us. She would sing Angais in Marathi, we say, in Konkani we say Angais, like Nimbonicha Zhada Mage, and the way she would sing it, and I had to, there are certain turns and there are certain murkis and harkats that you kind of do, which I didn't get in the first go. I didn't get in the second go. I didn't get in the fifth go. But I kept going back. That is when I realized that I think when I started hormone replacement therapy, that kind of changed that in me. Like I would usually otherwise say that I'm fine, yeah, it's fine. I mean, just let it pass. I'm not gonna like kind of stress over it. Let someone else do it. But then I said no. There's a reason that I've been chosen to do this song, and I will give it my best. And then if it doesn't happen, it's fine. So on the 10th go is when I got both the male and the female registers, the accents, the enunciations, the feel that is there. And I think that's when it kind of showed that when you're equally balanced on both sides and both energies, and the synergy of both energies is what kind of created the magic.
There's such an interesting shift in your music career. I mean, the Rani Ko-HE-Noor originals are there, but it's wonderful that you've expanded your ambit and more people in mainstream are reaching out to you. Everybody knows Pari Hu Main with Sunidhi Chauhan. Saiya Illegal is a big one with Sona Mahapatra and Ram Sampath. I have so much love and respect for them.
I love them.
The first couple of music.
Yes.
And might I add, it was quite an interesting series also, Tribhuvan Mishra.
Yeah, Netflix.
Yeah, and then there's been Bavla, there's been Braz India, which we will talk about, and the Shore Police songs. Now, does it finally feel that people are not specifically calling you when they want a queer artist, but they've started calling you because, hey, this song suits Rani?
Yes. In one word, yes. And it's a big yes in capitals. And I think I'd say I've waited for this day where people don't attach the prefix of being a queer artist or a transgender singer. A singer is a singer. And I think that that's so beautiful. And I'm so glad that you kind of brought it up. See, you always expect only the best from Hrishi K. And I'm giving you all these cute expressions also for your video.
Video,
Yeah. But I have to say, it's fantastic, and you've been, we've been associated for years, and you've literally seen the physical transformation, and I think that kind of also flows into my music and the multidisciplinary art form that music is, and yes, as an artist, I just strive to amalgamate all my energies and kind of create fantastic art. And now I'm just so thankful that I get called not as, and as you said, there are a lot of songs that I get called because it suits my voice or my voice suits the song and the mood. And I think that in a country where people believe that, oh my gosh, being trans is deplorable or is a crime or a sin, here you are, and I'm singing for everyone and their cousins.
I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy for Huma Qureshi, Saqib Salim. Again, the Salim siblings.
Yes.
Love
them.
Gotta love them.
Love them.
Huma's so feisty. We were in Bangalore day before yesterday for Yash's film launch. And Yash is this huge guy, the KGF guy. And Huma's in that movie too.
Yes.
I'm just so happy for her. And
Huma's herself so eclectic. She's in Hollywood, and then she's like come back here, opened her own production house, and she's amazing. I love her.
Guys, this is something you really ought to go and check out. This is Rani Ko-HE-Noor's latest. It is from Baby Do Die Do. It's actually a Bulle Shah poem, a nazm that the great philosopher Bulle Shah wrote. Arjun Iyer has composed it. And really the words come with centuries of Sufi feeling in them. Talk to me about this. How did Arjun approach you for this song? The lyricality of it, Bulle Shah. And this lyric wasn't written specifically for Rani Ko-HE-Noor. It is part of legacy.
Yeah. So Arjun's wife, Arjun Iyer, first of all, is a fantastic, what a debut for him as a composer. My gosh, the audio on that film is crazy. I think the only person that has probably done a better job in their debut album probably must have been A.R. Rahman.
For Roja or something.
Yes. And I think Arjun is just killing it. And so his wife and I used to dance together. And we were contemporary and ballet dancers. When you look at me today, it doesn't look like it. But there was a time, Hrishi, there was a time when I could point my toes all the way up to the gods. But anyway, so she suggested that Arjun should check my voice for this song. And he was like, I don't know, but yeah, I would love to. So I went and just tested the song, and I surprised myself. I'd never imagined singing Sufi, and I killed it, in my humble opinion. I was actually supposed to do another song.
Okay.
On the same film, which was done by Christina. She's amazing. Christina has sung 2 songs in the film, and Akasa and I went to college together, and we used to participate in, Kaleidoscope, which was Sophia College's inter-college festival, and Malhar, which was the St. Xavier's College. So we used to always win, and then it was the first. So it was a beautiful moment for me because I got to sing with Akasa in the same film, but not the same song, and she sang Ishq Meena, and I sang Ut Gaye Gawando Yaar. Which even she was shocked. She was like, my God, how the tables have turned. How the tables have turned. And because that would be my genre of choice, if you had to ask me. Then I realized, my gosh, okay, there's no genre of choice now.
Yeah.
I'm going to sing everything. So that's how it kind of came to me. And even if you ask Arjun today, he's like, I'm so glad I pushed you to do this because it sounds fantastic. It does.
Lovely. I'm going to come to a video I really enjoyed, the Braz India one. And big ups to you. You've taken Indian drag beyond India.
Yes.
And it's such a joyous song. That's the only way I can describe it. It's the best of Brazil, meeting the best of India and sharing the queen of the universe. And I love that the video has imagery of both cultures, which is so
Yes.
important.
Yes, me with all my Mang Tika and everything. And I'm trying to drive a Maserati with no seatbelt and trying to lip sync to Brazilian lyrics, Portuguese and all this. Who will do this? Only I can do this on a good day.
Outrageously beautiful.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Drag Queen and talk to me about,
Queen of the universe.
Yeah, this is it's quite amazing. Yeah.
Yes. So I keep saying that, the Brits could have taken away one Koh-E-Noor, but, the main one is right here in your studio, huh, Hrishi? I must say. But I kept, so we got really friendly on this show, which I did, which was my Hollywood debut as well, which was Queen of the Universe. And it was a multi-Emmy award-winning production house. And, there is Graham Norton is introducing you on stage.
Wow.
And I'm just like, I've only seen Graham Norton interviewing the biggest stars. And, he's like, from the gullies of Mumbai, India. And I'm like, I don't know what gully he's talking
He's
about.
so good. Graham
And
is
he's
just
too
so good.
He's amazing. And, he's an icon himself. So, from the gullies of Mumbai, Bandra, Mumbai, presenting the Koh-E-Noor of India, Rani Ko-HE-Noor. And I'm like, and the country flag is, behind me, and I'm singing Leila Me Leila and all this. And I'm doing all of these things. And I meet Drag Queen there. And we instantly become best friends. Because we are the only two North Americans, non-North Americans, that are in the top 5 in the world.
Wow.
On such a big platform. So one is India and one is Brazil. And the other two one was British. I like her. But the whole thing was that now will I beat this queen or not? And, so I was like, oh gosh, whether I win the show or not, I have to beat her. Although we also were best friends, but I said, I can't let you take all the Koh-E-Noors. Yeah. So I had to outsing her, but it so happened that I came 4th and she came 5th. But anyway, so Greg won the show and we had a pact. I said, one of us has to win. No shade to the North Americans, but, it was a North American production house. Now, if they won, then I was like, why do you call us flyers from all parts of the world to the...
Yeah.
So, but anyway.
Do your own party and go.
Yeah. So then we promised each other that whoever wins, and in our confessionals and, video diaries, we would only keep praising each other. And we would just be like, oh my gosh, Greg is so hot outside drag. Oh my gosh. I was like, Greg's drag is so fab.
Just
and all
sisters.
Of that. Yeah, we were just like sisters from the get-go. And so then when she won, and then we had promised each other that we will give out of the, $500,000, that we will invest the first check that we get, whoever gets it, into a song.
Wow.
And that's what we did with Brazindia, and we shot with some of the best cinematographers in LA, Hollywood. We have the Hollywood sign there, and I'm driving a Maserati. I can't even drive a Maruti Suzuki Zen here. But I'm driving because free roads. There's no traffic, and I loved it. Air quality is high, and I was high on good air.
Yeah.
And my what do you call it? My vocal cords were like singing for the gods, like literally. I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic experience.
Lovely. What a journey it's been. I mean, if you look through your public journey, there have been different forms of visibility. I mean, you look at Mr. Gay India, Mr. Gay World, then Big Boss, then Saregama Pa, and then eventually Queen of the Universe.
Yeah.
That journey itself is revolutionary. But my question to you is, has the ambition changed?
Yeah, I think, as I said, at the nucleus, at the very center of it, I know what I've always wanted. And I've said that even when I was much younger, I said that, I want my legacy to live on. And that would only happen with my art, and how people remember you through what you've kind of given them that can make them happy and can make you feel revered in a way which is not godifying you. I hate that. I honestly think that that's one sort of an ailment that we need to kind of find a cure to. And I realized that, my art and artistry kind of talks to people in a way which is very like, hey, this is our person. It's not like, oh my God, what are you in Kiperchu? I'm not that. So I was like, I need you to listen to my songs when you're driving, when you're in the shower, when you're at a party, when you want to just calm down, just want to go to sleep, listen to my podcasts or, listen to one of my bhajans, but then also wake up and go to the gym. And then, there's like some, techno trance song that you can listen to that I've done. And I think that's why I love being eclectic.
Now, I'm going to come to a lesser known fact. But did you know that Rani Ko-HE-Noor has a master's in industrial and organizational psychology? I mean, that's amazing. So basically, you were trained to run assessments. And here are you sitting on the other side of one, having your behavioral patterns and hormonal profile evaluated before you were cleared to begin. My question is, being and having that master's degree in industrial and organizational psychology, did that help you? Because now you know the machinery and how it works, right? And you can be your own gatekeeper.
Yes, it does help. But I think that, you meet all sorts of people. And I think that also teaches you what the books can't. Different cultures, different people, and different musicians, artists, in fact. We take so much for granted because, whenever I say I come from privilege, it holds true till the fact that, because my parents didn't disown me for my gender or my orientation or expression. And the only privilege that they gave me that I can boast of is education. From there, what I did with it, only I know. And I think that, that I keep with me. And I say that this going forward has to be a movement where if you have even a little bit of privilege, first you acknowledge it, celebrate it. There's no running away from your privilege.
Sure.
I can't stand people who are like, oh my gosh, no, it was so, it wasn't tough for some of us living in Mumbai. It wasn't as tough for some other artists that come from, they're paying their rent, they're paying their this. You have to just give it to them. They're winning. Like if they're singing in the same studio as you don't have to be like, don't sit with me, bitch. Like, don't do that, lift them up. And I just think that, when that changed for me is when I saw how they treated us in Hollywood. They had done immense research about where you come from. They had your nameplate. You will stand on your nameplate, and only the journalists that have read about you will interview you from the world. They're that polished. And about me, I was shocked. I'm standing next to Ariana Grande and Rihanna, and I'm just like, but they're calling me Rani. I'm like, wow, amazing. They knew everything.
India represent.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, what? This is crazy. So I just think that, it's been wild. But I also think that the degrees help in a way where, yes, you know what the bookish knowledge is, but how you apply it is when you actually kind of meet people from everywhere. And you're like, oh, this is what I'd studied about. I can see it in function now.
Well said. The practical aspect.
Yeah.
Correct. Earlier this year, you called the Transgender Amendment Bill absurd, and you said that it strips away what Nalsa gave you.
Yes.
And I mean, your public brand is joy, isn't it? I mean, you look at
Joy.
Namaste, the Garba Queen, the sequence.
It
It's
is.
just happiness. It's just joy.
It's joy, and it's a party. It's
It's a party.
wild. I love it.
Yeah, but talk to me about that. Talk to me about, the amendment bill and why you feel it's absurd.
Because it is. It's draconian. And I just think that we also need to kind of filter out people that sit in positions of power based on how much they know about a particular
Or
subject.
they think they know. Yeah.
They think they know. And I just think I'm going to just leave it at that because I have choice words otherwise, to which they might need a translator for. Because if I say something, and even if I say draconian, it's archaic, I feel it's crazy and this and that. The way they have been in a hurry to pass this bill and make it an act was what kind of confused me. I was like, why are you so worried about trans rights? You're more bothered about trans rights than trans people. Or who is trans and why are you trans? And I really think it's very crude. And I think we've gone past that. Or at least I'd so like to believe. that we should be past that now. And I just think that, okay, if that's such a big deal, then whatever money I make from my music and from whatever money I make from my art, I won't pay taxes. Is that what you're trying to say? Because we're not getting any special provisions. So therefore, it doesn't make sense for you to kind of scrutinize somebody's privates. And it's very crude. It's crass.
You know, I'm going to hark back to a conversation I had with the great Nasiruddin Shah, and he said, you know, he makes sufficient money from doing movies and OTT series and things like that, but he makes sure that, you know, once in a couple of months, he will take that money and fund a play.
Yes.
Because theatre is so wonderfully close to him, you know, and I wonder, when I draw parallels to your life, you know that there's a June economy for Rani Ko-HE-Noor. You know, Pehchan was a Pride Month jewelry campaign. Nazare came out with a Prime Video's docu-series. Love is Love, I'm Coming Out. Then brands come calling every June, and you know, they go quiet by August.
Yeah. Even earlier.
Yeah.
By my birthday, they're out. I have to ask them, I have to hound them for July paychecks.
Yeah, so I wonder how you now view this. Have you reconciled to the fact saying, fine, I'm going to make the best of my identity for the next 30 days because I have to fund my art. All of this costs money. Creating these singles,
Absolutely.
going out there and everything. So your perception of that.
Yeah. I'm all for it. You know, I think that where my loyalties lie is my art. Yes, I do some things for passion, but most things I do in the mainstream is for the paycheck to run the passion. And I just think that a lot more people need to just showcase a little more backbone and say it like it is. What is the harm in saying? What qualms are they holding? It's not good for my aesthetic. Babes, your aesthetics need aesthetic cleanse anyway. You know, I think. So this whole thing, this whole persona, they want to kind of show and stuff. But at the end of the day, they want to dance to BD Jalali only.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just say it, you know. And I think that Pride Month, in a way, is also brands that used to come forward are now scared because a lot of queer people think that they're queer washing or pink washing, as they say. You know, it's a tokenism. And some of them are now a little skeptical, creating campaigns around sensitization because they think that we might face flack, even though our thought process is to kind of put forth issues related to the community. So yes, that could be a point where they actually might be pink washing. But you don't know till the campaign comes out. So are you going to say yes to it or are you going to say no to it? There are certain campaigns that might not agree with your political ideologies, for example. Therefore, you might not take the campaign. Or there might be people that might be scared to kind of come out with a campaign because certain governments don't condone equal rights for queer people. Those are some brands that you might want to stay away from. But that's a very personal and subjective choice. For me, I take up work so that I can educate kids. I can educate transgender. The first transgender doctor who is doing her master's from Hyderabad, Telangana, is Dr. Ruth John Paul. And my question on a panel with politicians was, okay, you're saying that you need a medical board to check transgender people. How many transgender doctors are there? Oh, wait, we don't have one. So who's paying for that? My commercial work pays for that. And I don't need to explain, or I don't need anyone else's explanation. So what we've done is, some of us, we make the money, and then we kind of give it to the ones who need it. You know, because at the end of the day, you're not going to be stuck in Ruth's pronouns. You're going to call her Dr. Ruth John Paul, and she's going to treat you regardless of what your gender is. So I think that if we kind of have politicians and, you know, law policy makers also thinking like that, and also artists and composers thinking like that, thinking that, oh, she's a woman, man, is she old? Is she from here? How old is she? Doesn't matter. Asha Bhosle was singing till her last day, and she was doing concerts at 91. You really can't fight, you know, what our legacy as Indians, and as you said, the Konkan, you can't. So I mean, they can try, but after a couple of years, they are going to be replaced. But are you going to replace a Rani? There's no
No
Game of
way.
Thrones happening here, babes.
Well said.
You know.
I'm going to come to 36 Days. You played Tarun, Tara, a trans person who wants to be a drag queen. And then you go and sing 3 of the show's songs.
Yeah.
You're both inside the character and narrating her from the outside. And my question is just that, when you write her inner life in Ab Tak and Farebi Zindagi, does that change what you do on camera?
Yes. It really matters, Actually, one of my dear friend Malishka, her sister has written the series.
Oh.
So Sinika has written it, and she literally was like, my gosh, I can't imagine anyone but Rani playing this character. And then Sinika goes and tells the director, Rani sings, right? Why doesn't she sing? So I have sung all 3 songs of the series, and with Clinton Serio. What fun. What Bianca and Clinton are the best duo for jazz. I think to sing jazz in Hindi. I'm getting goosebumps. I can't do it.
Big shout out to our friends Clinton and Queen Bey.
Yes, I love them. And so, it did help me, when I sang it myself, and then I could kind of portray the character. And then, Tara has so many levels and so many shades to her. And then she comes in the last 2 episodes as Tarun, and then she kind of, not asks, she demands retribution, and she gets it. And it's fantastic. I love this series. I think it's a very underrated series. Thanks for speaking about that.
It's on Sony Live, right?
On Sony Live.
Yeah, so guys, you need to do that. You need to go and check out Sony Live and catch it. It's 36 Days. I'm going to now come to the transition. I opened the newspapers and I heard you say what you had to say about it. And, hey presto, this interview happens. Someone reaches out and it happens. So, you've spoken very openly about hormone replacement therapy, and you've also said that by 2027, you hope to have transitioned. But what I also love is you've chosen to call yourself Rani Sushant Divgikar.
Yes.
So talk to me about that. I mean, emotionally, I'm sure there's lots that's changed since you actually began the medical transition. I mean, one thing is contemplating it, and the other is actually setting out on the road to do it.
Yeah.
So kudos to you. So yeah, I'd like to talk about transitioning, the last leg, as it were, and of course the name.
Oh, I sat with myself for a very long time, and I contemplated, and I said, one life. I had seen a very tough year in 2022. But before that, I had just finished shooting a couple of things, 2 series, a film, a couple of songs. I did my US tour, and I came back, and then I had a cancer scare. And so I couldn't transition then. Then I said, okay, I'm going to keep it on hold. And then I got another film, which was Thank You for Coming. And I needed to be masculine. So that kind of delayed it by another year. Then we entered 2023, where my house burned down. And then, there were a lot of things that kind of kept sort of demanding me to give my energy somewhere else. Although there were certain gaps in which my blood reports came up well, and my lipid and all of those things, all your profiles and the vitals, they came up well, but all these things happened, which I didn't have control over. So I had to give my energy there. And then later is when all of this kind of sobered down, and I wasn't even thinking about it. And one of my doctors called me, and he just asked me how I am. And it just reminded me, because our previous chats were his okay letters that, okay, you're fit for transition. And I was like, wait, you know what? I'm just going to do it. It's a gift from me to me to have survived all of this, to watch your first home in Mumbai that you worked so hard for burn to ashes, then your engagement breaking, but you're also kind of in a dilemma because your song has released, which is such a big song, Pari Hu Main, which is with one of your inspirations like Sunidhi. So I was so confused, right? And I was like, okay, wait. So I just didn't give enough time to myself. And then after that, I said, okay, I'm going to get back. Tougher, stronger, and more gorgeous than ever. And I did. And I got my tests done and stuff. And they were like, yeah, you're fine. Go for it if you have to. So I did. and it's been about 7 months now.
Beautiful. And the name?
And the name, darling. I said I have to give props, full props to my parents. So, because they have always loved and cherished and celebrated me for who I am, I said, I'm going to keep the name that you gave me, and I'm going to keep my surname the way it is, however much of a tongue twister it is for other people. It's a they and them problem.
Yeah.
If you could say Padukone and you learn to say Padukone properly, she's also another Konkani le.
Correct.
Deepika is also from Karwar. I mean, of course, Bengaluru, but dad is Amchi.
And what a man he is.
What a guy.
Mr. Padukone.
What a guy. Mom used to
All-England
train
club
with him in
winner.
Kankiwa
Yeah?
Stadium.
Oh, wow.
She was captain of basketball team. He was captain of badminton.
And I believe still handsome, but
Amazing.
extremely handsome.
Gorgeous. So, yeah, I mean, if they could learn to say Padukone, they will learn to say Divgikar eventually. They have tough surnames now, what to do. But so then I realized that, okay, so Sushant Divgikar I'm going to keep, but Rani is the name that the audience has revered and celebrated so much. And I just wanted to say that, okay, yeah, I'm going to keep all of it. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm going to be selfish and keep all of it.
Why not?
Yeah.
All right. The last one is about the future. What are you looking to build? So much has transpired. I wonder, is there going to be another tour, a concert, an album, a version of Rani Ko-HE-Noor that the world hasn't seen before in terms of an artist?
I think it's safe to say that I'm stepping up to be the next Garba queen.
Lovely.
But in my own way.
In your own way.
There's this, that I'll sing the typical traditional Garbas, which are like nice and slow paced and stuff, and then you go into you add a little more of your flavor, like Pari Hume, for example, like how Falguni ma'am Falguni Pathak just kind of reinvented it. Yeah, and she did that, and she actually offered for me to come and sing with her in one of her Navratris, and I was already booked in Surat, so I was like, oops, tough headed.
It's crazy that it's our fault as human beings. We have such preconceived notions. I met her somewhere at a public place, and she was talking about the station that I built over the last 21 years called Radio 1, which is an English radio station.
Yes, it was my
And she was like,
go-to.
And she was like, listen, I listen to Radio 1 all the time.
Every day.
I said, Falguni ma'am, you?
Yeah.
Like I said, it was my problem.
Yes.
I was like, how can the Garba Queen of India who sings Guju? She says, listen, I only listen to your channel. So I said, what but our playlist is, Ed Sheeran and Selena Gomez and this, that. She said, I love that because when I get out of my concerts and I get out of my recordings, it's so different from what I'm doing. It gives me a worldview. And I remember coming back and thinking, how shallow are we? That because somebody sings Garba and is called the Garba Queen of India, we limit her.
Yeah.
Whereas actually, she's the one with the widest musical scope that she can do anything.
Yes. So I think now that she will happily also have me on the podium standing next to her, be one of her princesses.
10 more days of making money so that you can fuel it in.
Absolutely. And then, of course, I'm also doing a lot of... I've started... And I'm not started enjoying, it's not like a recent phenomenon, but I've always loved ghazals. So I'm working on ghazals, I'm doing a lot of Sufi songs, I'm also kind of mixing, like how the colonial cousins used to do it, like Hariharan sir and Leslie sir.
Yeah.
They used to mix and combine their powers, as I say.
Yeah, I love that. Krishna.
Even that one... something about the way you smile. You may never know the reason why.
Beautiful, yeah.
See? I love it. And so we're kind of doing something like that. And, we're different things. And I think that's the variety. Variety is the...
spice of life.
Absolutely. Yes.
Listen, I'm just so happy you rolled by. Guys, go check out that Do Die Do.
Baby Do Die Do.
It's a Bulle Shah song and it's lovely. And while you're doing that, go back to all her catalogue, enjoy the music. Definitely see the Sony Live show that we've just talked about. It holds pride of place in our heart. And well, all the best in everything that you do. And I hope to see you very soon.
Yes, and I'm coming up with a Marathi movie which is called Maitreya. And I'm singing on the same album as Vaishali Samant, who I've loved.
Oh my God, yes, she's wonderful.
Yes. So I will come back when that
Please
happens.
do,
In
please do.
September.
It'll be
Yes.
wonderful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right, guys, till we see you the next time around. It's Hrishi K saying bye-bye.
Thank you.